freaking cold. We locked the door because I ain't having nobody creeping up in here on me. All right, we got to charge some stuff. Check it out. All right, let's get to the project. All right, when I was working construction, my buddy Paul Horn, he was working at McClam Rocks, him and his lovely wife, which was a tool supply place back in Shreveport. And it's still a little bit cold in here. I'm waiting for it to heat up. Once they get to moving, it'll be better. So you've got snow, ice on the ground. It's like raining, sleeting, and snowing and windy all at the same time. So there's a guy that worked for Kansas City Southern, which is the railway down there, and I told him I wanted a piece of rail iron. He got me this one that is cut so beautifully, so perfectly. Came with that yellow mark. I've wiped it down with Baristol, and I'm making a stand out of these a base. So picked these up at a lumber mill. They were cut-offs, along with the one that I made that was earlier in the video for the anvil. Gonna put a little bit of glue on them. Then I nail them together with CC sinkers. I'll strap them together. Then I've got some metal, I think that's like maybe 1/2 inch by an 1/8 inch band that I wrap that around it, drill holes, and use CC sinkers. I like CC sinker nails with that cement coat. They just stick really well. And I think that it looks a bit better than using, screws or whatever. I just like the look of those nails. What would be cool if my skill set was I could make some fancy, nails on the forge. That's one thing I do want to try to do soon with all the other stuff I've got going on. It's probably going to be winter. But another reason that I wanted to put this together is this makes a great little small anvil for smaller stuff, and also bending things, straightening it. That sometimes the other anvil won't work, so I have 2 services, and also for a few other little, you'll see once I get it put together. So flat side, rounded, solid piece. I got tired of moving these 4 around, so let's put them together. And I think that my old wood glue, this is the best way to apply wood glue. And I'm gonna have to clean this up. It bothers me I can't use the applicator on this. And then I'm probably going to screw some 2-bys in this to get, for my template to cut it. I'm actually going to use the chainsaw, the Stihl, to trim these to height and size. Professional applicator of glue. These are so heavy, and then they're finally dry. Nice. All right. I'll take what I do with it. The rounding hammer. I'm going to get these close as I can. The last one I did for the anvil, I did on the anvil. I did on the back of the old heavy hauler at the old garage. Because I had so much stuff in the garage waiting to get to this garage. I just didn't have any room. You know, you dummy, that ain't gonna work. Talking to a friend in the south, they're gonna have back in the boot some weather like we're having up here, which is just crazy to me. There is a little ladybug that I think is petrified, but I'm gonna stick it up there. Say this is rough cut. It's going to have a couple little gaps and stuff in it. Now those are going to kind of get rusty and stuff and look cool. So these are CC sinkers, cement coat nails. Hope y'all can see that. They do have a little texture on them. Used to use these a lot for planing nails back when I worked construction. And if anyone's using these for, once they get in there with cement and you try to pull them, they my hammering is a little off. I'm still getting used to these transition glasses, and I think what I actually need to do is get some readers that are at my prescription now and use those out here for this close-up stuff, because I can't see. Sometimes I don't know what to use. This is going to be a little interesting. All right, I think the rest of this, I'm going to put on time lapse. Maybe stop every once in a while. To chitty chat with y'all. Does that sound cool? This is heavy. More motivation to finish up that tapping and drilling and tapping on the tractor so I could use the bucket. And then also it does make me dream about the day that I end up with the forklift. And because of the glasses, that's why I'm choked up on this hammer a little bit. And it had been years since I had used a hammer So we built the duck and chicken coop. And let me tell you, if you hadn't been hammering or framing for a while, and you go back to doing a lot of it, it will wear you out. So all the framing for the coops I did with the CC sinkers, use screws on a few things. And then like some of the stuff I went back with lag bolts, like in the corners and stuff like that. Jack that one up. All right, let's do some time lapse. All right, I've talked about those CC sinkers. You'll notice I am choking up on my hammer a good bit, which I normally don't do, but this wood was hard, and I should have drilled pilot holes, but I want that cement coating to really stick to that wood. Okay, I think that'll work for what we're doing. That is some hard wood. Okay, made a mess. That'll help collect up those metal shavings. The reason I would do this outside, but it's like sleeting, snowing, the wind is blowing, super sucks. So mark that off. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was, and it'll help me get that on there. Even on the base for the anvil, I had to do some wedges. But yeah, we'll set this down, get the chain, and then strap that on there. Where that winter storm has hit us, and it's freaking cold out there. We just drove up to the hardware store to get a few supplies, and I got some of those sticks that you put in the ground, the orange ones, show where your driveway are. Our driveway is. That's something new. I had I had, look at that, in the bag. I had some hooks like this, but they were too small, so they're gonna go with these. I had these parts that I'm using to put the anvil on, had those, and then I had to go and get some chain, and then the turnbuckles at Tractor Supply. And the turnbuckles I have wouldn't fit here. So we're gonna be applying or installing those as soon as I thaw out and get this heat on. Bye, y'all. Hey, y'all, sorry for the extra noise. I had to turn the freaking heat on. It is cold, cold, cold out here. I kind of leveled this up with some shims. Y'all couldn't see it because I didn't have the camera set up right. But, excuse me. I needed a bandsaw to cut all of these. And I used my chainsaw. And this wood is hard as a sail. So, I remember I bought these back when I was in the old garage at this really cool hardware store downtown. And I can't remember why I bought these, but I'm sure it was for a cool reason. And I'm not using these here, but I've got a couple extras on there. So I got it pretty decent, as we would say, back in Louisiana. I'm going to do that about right there. I hate using these little buckle things, but they're also like super freaking cool to use too, if that makes sense. I like them a lot. So with that, about right there. Buddy Rusty sent a picture last night to me in the group chat that him and Will Jordan and I have of this new Milwaukee light he got that is a hood lamp that is so freaking cool. So it attaches to your hood. To your hood, and then with it attaching to your hood, it man, did I jack that up? Damn it! I needed 4 of these. What a dummy. Oh well, it is what it is. Maybe I can find another one around here. 2 others. I knew I should have bought extra. But man, these things have gotten expensive. They were like $3.89 a piece. And I hate to be one of those grumpy old Gen Xers that's like, oh, everything's so expensive. But damn, man, stuff has gotten stupid expensive, and it's really irritating. The cost of stuff. Especially since the couth and such. I'm not going to have look for another hook or whatever. So I'll stop the video a minute while I look around for one or two, excuse me. But I feel dumb. But in my defense, it is stupid cold here, and the cold has been affecting my train of thought. All right, not shown on the camera, but I put these little smashy boys on there on each side that I found in the old bolt bin. So mash them in the vise, and they'll work. They'll do what I need. So stoked that I found those. And this is still reasonably level. So I know, and I have been looking for a vintage bandsaw. Man, I'd love like one of the duals. I think those things are freaking sweet. Dang it. What did I do with the thing? Oh, it's right there. I do love the vintage duals. I think they're freaking sweet. But the price of those bandsaws has got me thinking. And I think that I like some of those vintage Craftsman ones. Are pretty freaking cool. That are like have the cast iron stand and stuff like that. And I don't use a bandsaw a whole lot. So, like the table saw that's over here. Eventually, I mean, it's a Craftsman. It's an older, man, that one's probably from the 80s or 90s. And it'll do for what I need. If I can ever pick up like a good Delta or Rockwell, I'll definitely do that. Vintage one. But it's not priority on my list. And, but if I find one used cheap, that's a good deal, I will definitely buy it. But I would like to get some wood. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of woodworking stuff, but it comes in handy. Comes in super handy like this does. And I can't use a worm drive saw for everything. Well, I think I can use a worm drive saw for everything. I can use a worm drive saw for everything. But it's easier to have the proper, proper tools to do that. I always get confused on these, of which way is the business. There we go. The business way. This is not the one I wanted. Here we go. But it's cool to have, like, I would like a radial arm saw. I would like another table saw. Definitely, I'm not gonna lie, I would like one of the newer chop saws because those are just fancier. And a few other woodworking tools would be nice because even with what I'm doing, like I need a little bit of everything. I need a surface grinder, I want a milling machine. There's a couple of things like that I want to do to be able to do what I want to do, and there's definitely a list of stuff, but a lot of it isn't priority. But sometimes that list will move around because a deal comes up and I grab that. and I'm all about deals. And then some things I get where I'm like, all right, I do need that. Oh, that's pretty daggone secure. And we're pretty decent on it being level. I'm gonna grab the old hammer. I will need this one, which is cool. All right, I do leave those sticking out. Man, this thing is great. All right, I'm gonna do a little walk around real quick. All right, y'all, the wood, I think I bought those chunks. They were either like, I think they were $5 a piece. They're just rough cut hardwood, some oak. Turnbuckles, I probably have $40 in the chain and turnbuckles. Is what I'm estimating, lag bolts. How much ever that band was. I did that with the CC sinkers. Then put the little wedges under there. And as you can see, it's okay steady. Once I get it in place, I'll throw some wedges, but there we are with that. And I can even budge the chains. So let me move it where it goes. All right, y'all, now I have 2 different surfaces. I was just messing around with that aluminum sign. I actually told someone I was forging aluminum, so that was a little bit of an inside joke for somebody. But so I've got 2 that match, and then they're at the appropriate height, both of them. So it turned out really nice. They're chained down, and what I like about the turnbuckles is I can tighten those down to get the chains tight. And also, this is kind of removable, where if I ever use a different type vise or something like that on there, that I can do that. And eventually, we're gonna do a video out here where I really want to try to make some nails. So we'll see how that goes. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. I am glad I've toted those 4 pieces of wood around way too much and then moved them way too many times in here in the shop, and that thing is heavy. I hadn't scaled it, but I know that it's freaking heavy. I'm glad I finally got those together, especially because there's some inclement weather, so I can't do some stuff outside. It's while there's snow hitting the window, blowing sideways right now, or ice or sleet, or the combination of all 3. I got that piece of railroad iron. That probably had to be, sorry y'all, I do use the spittoon sometimes. I'm trying to quit dipping. It's hard. I've done it before. Well, I guess I haven't ever really quit. I've taken some years and year breaks, and I need to do that again. I've had that forever. It has been on a bench top. When I've lived at various places in my powder cutting shop, it was on the floor and had this really long bench that I would put it up there and use it on. I've used that over the years. Had it on the bench back at the old garage. Once I moved in here, it's been resting up here. I've used it a couple of times. I'm glad that it has a permanent place. And eventually, when I expand this shop, which we'll go over that in the future of what I'd like to do, I would like a dedicated blacksmithing area where all that stuff will be outside, that I can, I by no means want to be a blacksmith, but I would love to learn to make some nails, and then also be able to twist and turn and bend some metal. I think that that is awesome. And I've used that anvil a lot for other projects and just to beat the crap out of stuff. So I'm glad it has a permanent home. I'm glad I can also throw it on the two-wheeler or the dolly and move it all around. So thanks for watching, y'all. I'm about to go have some mac and cheese. Bye, y'all. Thanks. $50. See, this is why we have this red light. No, and we forgot these. Good night, y'all.